Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1, or shall I say Stop and Go F2, as this is the coverage of the F2 for the Belgian Grand Prix weekend. Make sure you like and subscribe, and also a big shout out as well to our members, Dakota, the Joyous James, and Robin Myers. If you want to become a member, there's a link in the description. Let's get into this with the F2. Now, usually we would start at the sprint, but I haven't seen it, because the sprint had a start time, but the rain was so heavy that it got delayed, and then eventually postponed. And then when the actual sprint did start, I wasn't here to watch it, and Now TV decided that they need about 2 days to upload anything to be watched on demand. So I haven't actually been able to watch the sprint in full, but from what I have seen, it looked like it was an okay race. Some good moves from people like Antonelli up Eau Rouge was fantastic. Victor Martins making some good moves from the back of the grid after not setting a time in qualifying. But it looks like there was a few laps of racing, followed by a safety car, followed by a red flag, followed by the race not resuming, and it was won by Zach O'Sullivan. So there you go, that's my coverage of the sprint that I haven't fully seen. Shall we talk about the feature race, which I have actually seen, because that's just happened then, and I think it's a very interesting one in terms of what it means for our Formula 2 Championship. Now, we have still got a few races to go on the Formula 2 Championship. It's not like in F3 where it'll be over at Monza, but for all intents and purposes, I think the F2 Championship is over. We'll get into it now. So Paul Aron is on pole position. He's currently second in the championship. Gabriel Bortoleto is third in the championship, but he is alongside in P2 for this race. And our championship leader, Isack Hadjar, is starting third. So the top three of the championship are all in the top three on the grid for this race. And as we get started, there is a crash almost instantly between Ollie Bearman and Pepe Marti. Meanwhile, Aron is able to keep the lead, and Hadjar is able to get past Bortoleto for P2. Vershaw is off, and Colapinto is going very slowly. Colapinto also out of this race. The safety car comes out. I like what they do at the minute with the safety car. It used to be like if there was a crash, it was instantly safety car. But now it's like if there's a crash, as long as everyone gets through it okay, they're not going to call a safety car until the cars come back round to that position, which allows more racing to happen and overall is still safe. So I think the way they do it now is very good. Back to that crash with Marti and Bearman. Both of them had fantastic starts. Really, really good. Bearman, though, comes across from the right to the left of the track. And as he's coming across, Zane Maloney is just there. And I think he thinks that Zane Maloney has space to the left, not knowing that Pepe Marti is there. So he pushes Maloney to the left. Maloney cannot go to the left, and the front wing of Maloney hits the back left of Ollie Bearman, and then he just causes him to have a mini little spin there, going to the side of Pepe Marti, and they're both out into the wall. The commentator said it was a racing incident. Probably is a racing incident, but if anyone is to blame, it is Ollie Bearman for that one. But I think just because he couldn't have known what was to the left of Maloney, I think that will be what rules it a racing incident in the long run. Anyway, safety car ends on lap 4. Aron goes very early, is able to keep the lead. But now Victor Martins is in the wall, and this brings out the safety car again. We saw a lot of safety cars this morning in Formula 3. We see a couple of safety cars today in F2 as well. Will we see a safety car in F1? Probably, yes. So Victor Martins is in the wall. Villa Gomez is also out. This is a really, really weird one here. So Villa Gomez is trying to go around the outside of Taylor Barnard. Barnard pushes Gomez out wide. Villa Gomez goes into the gravel trap and starts to spin. Meanwhile, Victor Martins has missed the corner and he's cutting the corner, going off the runoff area. As he comes back on, Villa Gomez is in this spin and just collects him, so both are out of this race. The amount of things that have to go into that one crash happening is a bit of a madness, but it was a huge hit for Martin, especially when he hit the barrier and then did a spin. So thankfully, both of them are okay, but that does bring out the safety car. The safety car goes in on lap 7. Paul Aron gets away really well. Isack Hadjar decides to pit. not Isack Hadjar, sorry, Dennis Hauger decides to pit. Paul Aaron was under a lot of pressure from Hadjar at this point. Further down the grid, Antonelli gets past O'Sullivan for P6, but Isack Hadjar takes the lead from Paul Aaron on lap 8, which leads Aaron to go into the pits at the end of that lap. Meanwhile, Verschoor gets past Crawford for P3, and Hadjar pits on lap 10. Comes out over 2 seconds in front of Paul Aaron, but Aaron on those warmer tyres gets to close that gap in. Of course, in Formula 2, they don't have tyre warmers like they do in Formula 1. It's all how much heat you can get into the tyres yourself on your outlap. So Aaron spent a lot of that outlap building that heat into the tyres, and that helps him here. Meanwhile, Bortoleto is pitting on lap 11. Aaron now has DRS on Hadjar and is able to take the lead, but 2 laps later, now Hadjar has the heat in the tyres. He's able to take the lead back from Paul Aaron. Then Bortoleto gets past Paul Aaron as well. Paul Aaron at one point looking so strong in this race, now just falling backwards. Bortoleto is the one with all the pace. He has DRS now on Isack Hadjar, and he's challenging him for the lead on lap 19, but ultimately does not have the consistent pace to take that, and Hadjar is able to build a gap. At one point, he's about 2 seconds in front of Gabriel Bortoleto, with Paul Aaron in P3. So it's not looking great for Paul Aaron, but you know what? It could get worse, and it does. On the final lap, Paul Aaron is seen going slowly, and he is out. A mechanical issue for Paul Aaron, P2 in the championship. My goodness, we crossed the line. Isack Hadjar wins. It's Bortoleto in P2. Crawford P3, O'Sullivan P4, Verschoor P5, Maloney P6, 7th is Mayata, 8th is Cordeal, 9th Antoletti, 10th for Dirksen. I mean, Paul Aaron, you've got to feel for him here. Not a good way to end this. And, you know, he's challenging for the title. He was in the lead of the championship for such a long time, but this is his 3rd race weekend in a row now where it hasn't gone his way. You know, he had Silverstone, which was his first weekend of the year where he scored no points. He had Hungary, where he had that dreadful start and then crashed with Maloney. And here we have it when he was running P3 and he has a mechanical failure. Realistically now, you could honestly say this is championship over in terms of everything but the final result. Because Isack Hadjar has such a lead now on the championship that you really need, it's his to lose now instead of anything else. Let's see, has the standings been updated? Yes, they have. So Paul Aaron has fallen to P3 in the championship on 124 points. Gabriel Bortoleto is P2 on 129. Isack Hadjar is on 165 points. So the difference there, 165 minus 129 is 36 points. There's still 4 race weekends to go. We've got Monza, we've got Baku, got Qatar, and then Abu Dhabi. So, you know, it's still possible. It is still possible. If Bortoleto outscores Hadjar by 9 points over the next 4 race weekends, he will equal him, which isn't enough because he hasn't got enough wins, but who knows how that'll be in the end. So it's not over. The championship is still up for the grabs, and you know, we've seen what's happened to Aaron in the last 3 races. That could very well happen to Hadjar. That could happen to anybody. So maybe it's not over, but personally, I think it might be over. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about the state of the championship right now. We're back later today for all things Formula 1. A bit later than usual because I'm not here when the race is on, but I'll get here as soon as I can. I will see you then. Until next time, have a good one. Goodbye.